Good afternoon, Arun Patil ji. Good afternoon.
ಗೌಡ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಅಂದೆ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಗೌಡ್ರೆ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Arun Patil ji is also there. Namaskar, namaskar. How are you? Good afternoon, Dr. Rajendra Kumar ji.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, how are you?
Fine.
Good, good, good. Yeah.
ಗೌಡ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನನ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತಾ? ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಗೌಡ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Good evening to all gathered here. May I now invite the dignitaries to please come forward and occupy the chairs in the dais. Sri C.P. Charles, Chairman, India Dairy Association South Zone. Ms. Nirmala Kurien, daughter of Dr. V. Kurien. Sri Rahul Kumar, MD, Lactalis India. And Mr. S. Ramamurthy, Chairman, IDA, Tamil Nadu Chapter. Today is the day to be marked in the history of the Indian Dairy Association-Tamilnadu Chapter. The release of the video documentary on the man behind the milk revolution in India, Dr. Verghese Kurien. On behalf of the Loyola College Management, it is our pleasure to welcome the dignitaries present here. We will begin this program with the Tamil Thai Vaalthu. I invite all to kindly stand for the Tamil Thai Vaalthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you. In every crisis, if you look carefully, you will spot an opportunity, claimed Dr. Verghese Kurien. True to what he said, he firmly insisted on finding and seizing that opportunity, which changed India from a milk-deficient nation into the world's largest milk-producing country, thereby creating a revolution in the world of dairy farming and making India the largest self-sustaining industry in the dairy sector. His untiring passion, integrity, and concern for the farmers in the dairy sector gave him the title Father of the White Revolution. The Indian Dairy Association, the pinnacle of the dairy industry in India, has been providing a common platform for the dairy fraternity to come together. And this is one more occasion where this dynamic association has taken the initiative to honor and commemorate the birth centenary year of Dr. Verghese Kurien by launching this video documentary in his memory. True development is not the development of land and cows, but the development of men and women, remarked Dr. Verghese Kurien, which indeed is in tune with the vision of this great temple of learning, Loyola, that is creating men and women for others. And it is very apt that we are gathered here in this premises as well as zoomed in from across the nation to witness the launch of this video documentary on the life of the visionary Dr. Verghese Kurien, an illustrious alumnus of this prestigious college. We are delighted that this memorable event is presided by the IDA President, Dr. G.S. Rajhori, joined by Mr. C.P. Charles, Chairman South Zone, the Chairman and Vice Chairman of IDA Tamil Nadu Chapter, and the IDA members all over India, along with Ms. Nirmala Kurien, daughter of Dr. Verghese Kurien, and our Loyola administrators, Reverend Father Secretary, Reverend Father Principal, Deputy Principal, Vice Principals, the Loyola Alumni Association Secretary and his team, Head, coordinator, faculty and students of the PG Food Chemistry and Food Processing Unit of the Department of Chemistry, Loyola College, Chennai. The chairman of the South Zone, IDA, Mr. C.P. Charles, very aptly said in one of his tributes to Dr. Verghese Kurien, every drop of milk reflects his contribution to the smiles seen on the faces of the marginal and small milk producers. Yes, as we celebrate the birth centenary of this remarkable person, may I now invite the Chairman South Zone, Mr. C.P. Charles, to formally welcome the gathering.
Vanakkam and good afternoon. I am pleased to convey my greetings from Indian Dairy Association to the dignitaries who are present in the dais and off the dais and those who are participating through online. It is my privilege to welcome the dignitaries, members of IDA, scientists, students, dairy farmers, dairy entrepreneurs and well-wishers for this function. This is a significant event. The Tamilnadu chapter of Indian Dairy Association has come out with a video documentary on the noble man behind the milk revolution in India. Today, we are proud to be the largest milk producing country in the world, from 20 million metric ton in 1970 to 200 million metric ton in 2020. Great Dr. Verghese Kurien, the milkman of India, and he has brought this great honor to our country. Definitely, his strategies and creative, innovative approaches for the dairy development in the country could not be incorporated in this video. However, the Tamil Nadu chapter of IDA has made a humble attempt to take the contributions to the nook and corners of Tamil Nadu through this video with Tamil commentary, though the video to be released now has English commentary. I take this opportunity to compliment the office bearers and the members of the Tamil Nadu chapter for bringing commendations to the father of white revolution, Dr. Verghese Kurien. I welcome Dr. G.S. Rajoria, President IDA, who will be presiding over the function online. I heartily extend a warm welcome to Ms. Nirmala Kurien, daughter of Dr. Verghese Kurien, who will be releasing the video. There are 4 well-known dairy doyens in the industry, both from cooperative and private sector, who will be making felicitation speeches in the function through online and in person. I extend a warm welcome to Sri Minesh Shah, Chairman, National Dairy Development Board, who is participating through online in the function. Sri Minesh Shah has been working in NDDB several years and now reached the highest position. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. R.S. Sodhi, Managing Director, Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, fondly remembered as Amul, who is participating through online in the function. Under his leadership, GCMF and his member unions have reached a turnover of Rs 39,200 crore in 2020-21 despite pandemic. Both Sri Minesh Shah and Dr. Sodhi has rich experience in dairying, and they are translating the vision of Dr. Kurien into realities. I hope their highly charged speeches would bring out that significant learnings from Dr. Kurien, and definitely we would get enriched. We have with us online Mr. R.G. Chandramohan, Chairman and Managing Director, Hatson Agro Products, the largest private sector dairy company in the country. I welcome you, sir, and we are eager to hear from you the inspirations you derived from Dr. Kurien. I welcome Sri Rahul Kumar, Managing Director, Lactalis India, to this function. He is with us today. During his tenure in Amul, he had many occasions of interaction with Dr. Kurien. I hope your learnings from the great man would motivate us to contribute our energy to furthering the development of dairying in the country. Mr. Kandaswamy IAS could not join us today due to his meeting with the minister. Hopefully, he would join us through online. I welcome him. I extend a warm welcome to the members of Central, Zonal and Chapter Executive Committees, Chairman of Zones and Chapters, members of IDA across the nation, scientists, students, dairy farmers, dairy entrepreneurs, and well-wishers to this function. I also welcome the Rector, Reverend Dr. Francis P. Xavier, Secretary, Reverend Dr. D. Selvanayagam, the Principal, Reverend Dr. A. Thomas Amirtham, the management, faculty, and staff of Loyola College who have joined us in person and online. Dr. Gabriel, the Deputy Principal, Loyola College, who is present here with us. I welcome you, sir. We extend a warm welcome to the Loyola Alumni Association Secretary, Mr. Balamurgan, and his team who are with us today. I extend a warm welcome to those who are present here or watching through online, YouTube, Facebook, this function. I also welcome the creator of this video and the event managers for this program. வாழ்க டாக்டர் குரியன் புகழ், வளர்க அவருடைய சேவை. Hail Dr. Kurien's fame. Let his visions be honored through our untiring service to the dairy industry. Thank you. Jai Hind and Vanakkam.
Thank you, sir, for your words of warm welcome. The IDA is headquartered in Delhi, and all its activities are governed under the dynamic leadership of its current president, Dr. G.S. Rajhuri. Having mastered in animal husbandry and a PhD in dairy technology from the University of Agra, he has made several contributions to the dairy world in innovating novel dairy products, industrialization of dairy technologies, and his contributions have been recognized with several national and global awards. His academic role as a professor and researcher is evident from the several research scholars he has mentored and research articles published both nationally and internationally. He has served the IDA in various capacities and made a mark in the growth and accomplishments of the association. We are indeed honored to have you with us, sir, via Zoom to deliver the presidential address on this occasion.
Friends and fellow members of Indian Dairy Association, I am delighted to associate myself with the launch of video documentary on the milkman of India by his daughter, Ms. Nirmala Kurien today. I congratulate the Postgraduate Department of Food Chemistry and Food Processing of the Loyola College, Chennai, in collaboration with the Chennai chapter of Indian Dairy Association to organize this event. I'm happy to note that many dairy leaders of India, namely Shri Minesh Shah, Chairman NDDB, Dr. R.S. Sodhi, Managing Director, Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, Mr. K.S. Kannada Swami, who will be joining us, IAS MD, Tamilnadu Cooperative Milk Federation, Mr. Chandra Mogan, and Sri Rahul Kumar, MD, Lactalis India, present on this occasion. And they will address the gathering. Sri C.P. Charles, Chairman IDA South Zone, has given a very beautiful welcome address. I compliment his team for their continuous efforts in the organization of several webinars to remember Dr.Verghese Kurien. Kurien worked for the welfare of dairy farmers, landless, marginal, small and large, dairy processors, and the consumers involved in dairy supply chain. As nearly 60% of India's population is supported by agriculture, he had realized that our animal productivity is 4 to 6 times lower than the world. He advocated the plan for filling up the gaps between farmers, researchers, and policy makers. India supports 16.8% of total world population on just 2.3 global land and some 4.2% of water resources. His ideology of generating employment is so relevant today In that, about 27% of our population lost their employment due to COVID-19, and 35% of people are searching for some new jobs. Dairy sector contributes to about 70% income of livestock sector and 1/3 of gross income of rural households. Cooperative dairy farming holds future for the agrarian reforms in India. About 85% of the farmers are small and marginal. They lack bargaining skills, technical know-how, quality and safety parameters, market intelligence, post-milking operations, quick chilling and transportation and storage facilities. Farmers face acute shortage of fodders, feeds, goods and good seeds. We have some 400 varieties of grasses, but unfortunately only 30% are grown in this country. Only 4% of the credit facility is given to dairy farmers. High incidence of taxation in dairying is another issue. He set models for organizing the unorganized dairy sector, which we are all today cherishing. You are aware that every year, Indian Dairy Association organizes National Milk Day on 26 November to mark the birthday of Dr.Verghese Kurien, who dedicated his entire productive life for improving the quality of life and health of millions of Indian citizens using dairying as a tool for economic and social transformation of the poorest segment of India's population. All of us should be proud of the achievements of Dr. Kurien. He built a series of institutions which made India the world's largest milk producer, developed an effective chain to produce and deliver a hygienic and nutritious milk to millions of consumers in the cities and towns by creating a robust milk marketing system, now called the Amul model of milk in supply chain. The milk cooperatives he created have now become very powerful entities embedding democracy at grassroots level, empowering women and development of rural India. Dr. Kurien's involvement with dairy engineering was a twist of fate. He could have pursued a career in metallurgy, join the army, or go to USA to become a highly successful NRI. But he chose to return to Anand and worked for the farmers with commitment, dedication, honesty, and national spirit. He created the market for Kera milk in Bombay as a great incentive for the dairy farmers of Gujarat, the city of the rich people. The commercial and industrial capital of India was directly linked to Kera, which stimulated milk production in Kera district. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel took the problem of exploitation of dairy farmers by the private dairies and urged the farmers to organize milk cooperatives. Tribhuvan Das was selected as the first chairman of the Kera Cooperative Union by Sri Moraji Desai, and so the development of Anand model took birth in Kera district of Gujarat. Mr. C. Subramaniam, the then Minister of Agriculture, Government of India, invited Dr. Kurien to clean up the mess of the Delhi milk scheme. Dishonest persons were removed who were deep in corruption. He believed that the changes must be effected as soon as possible rather than overnight, and got the milk procurement process in perfect order. He scrapped rationing of milk supply in Delhi city. Among several institutions established by Dr. Kurien are the National Dairy Development Board, IRMA, National Milk Grid using rail and road tankers, insulated and refrigerated, Mother Dairy Delhi, district cooperative milk unions with milk processing and cattle feed manufacturing plants, IDMC, Operation Flood, Vaccine Production Center, and to some extent Rajasthan Electronic India Limited. Manthan film in 1976 was a classical film. To prove his mentorship, he earned several honors and awards like Padma Vibhushan Award of World Food Prize, honoris causa, doctorates of many Indian universities. He is aptly described as a father of white revolution in India. Usually, dairy farming was considered as a non-profitable business because of low milk yields from unproductive animals, long calving intervals, long dry periods, and low price realization from milk. And to add to this problem was about 50% male calves which were born and female calves with low birth weight, which led to the loss of economic traits during the entire life cycle. Dr. Kurien ensured that some of these problems immediately get resolved. Incidence of repeat breeding, lack of high-yielding germ plasm for breeding, low success rate in artificial insemination, prevalence of external and internal parasites, and bacterial-borne illnesses all lead to low esteem for dairying. And we are happy that Dr. Kurien also addressed these issues at that time. Shortage of protein-rich feeds and fodders, inefficient marketing, management, lack of power to negotiate prices, and total absence of digitalization in dairy farm operations were his mission. Lack of finance and insurance cover led to disproportionate disappointments for many of our farmers. Now, good that Government of India has pursued many of these problems subsequently, and many new milk production technologies have been evolved for increasing the productivity and profitability of dairy animals. The significant among them are the use of sorted semen for producing females, embryo transfer, cloning, and genomic selection. The Animal Disease Control Program launched in 2019 will facilitate the vaccination of livestock and tagging of each animal with a unique ID number for traceability through blockchain technology. Rashtriya Gopal Mission, you are all aware, launched in 2014, took partial care of health through disease control, making available nutrient-rich fodder and breed improvement program. Dairying requires electric power for plowing, irrigation, harvesting, heating of water, and even cooking. Power supply is unreliable, so farmers use diesel generators, which are expensive to operate. Biogas produced from animal dung is a least cost option for energy, and we are quite, working, countries working in that direction. The digester from biogas plant forms an excellent manure to improve soil health. Solar power is yet another alternative for farming, which is eco-friendly and cost-effective and reduces carbon emission. Friends, Dr. Kurien has written two very important books, and if you read those books, you will be very pleased to know what mission and ambition he had in life. And I have great pleasure in associating myself with some of the achievements that Dr. Kurien has made for this country. I welcome all the delegates and participants to this webinar and wish a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address and the significant contributions of Dr. V. Kurien. It is now time for the most scintillating event, the release of the video documentary on the great man behind the milk revolution in India. I call upon Ms. Nirmala Kurien, daughter of Dr. Verghese Kurien, to formally release the video documentary. Thank you, ma'am, for honoring the IDA by releasing the video. The video will now be screened.
की नदियां बाहे मेरो गाम काठा पाड़े जहाँ दूध की नदियां बाहे जहाँ कोयल ढोको गाए मारे घर आंगना ना भूलो ना रे मारे घर आंगना ना भूलो ना हरे गाम की मक्खन रोटी लाए खुशियाँ छोटी छोटी खुश रह तेरा बेटा बेटी जैसे चमके हीरा मोती तेरे आंचल में तेरे चेहरे की ये लाली लाए मारे मन उजाली आंगन आंगन है खुशहाली मारे घर झांझर लक्ष्मी के बाजे मारे घर झांझर लक्ष्मी के बाजे पधारो मारे गाँव ओ परदेसिया ओ परदेसिया ओ परदेसिया सपने हो गए हैं साकार दम के मारा ये घर बार आवे खुशियों की पुहार 12 महीना है त्योहार घर वाली बनी रानी मारे काम की ये कहानी सुनो सुनो रे दूध का सागर बहता जाए कंगन सोने के खनकाए सुनो तार पे शहनाई मारे घर झांझर लक्ष्मी के बाजे मारे घर झांझर लक्ष्मी के बाजे हमें आना भरेगा मत भूलो मोरे शान दूध मक्खन तुम्हें खाओ खट्टा खट्टा बन जाओ मारा खान ओ मारा खान मारे घर आंगना ना भूलो ना मारे घर
as much good as you can to those who are less fortunate, and I would like to live my life as a common man. So beautifully said by the milkman of India, showcasing his humility and concern for the downtrodden, alleviating their poverty by the milk cooperative movement, and I'm sure his proud daughter, Ms. Nirmala Kurien, will cherish every memory and accomplishment created by him. It is indeed an honor and privilege to have with us Ms. Nirmala Kurien, who has been highly participative in all the events organized in memory of her father. I now invite ma'am to address the gathering.
Good evening to one and all. I thank the IDA Tamilnadu chapter for organizing this function and for creating this lovely video. It is really very touching and I'm really very impressed, and thank you. And to all the guest speakers present today who in their own capacities have helped keep his dream alive, to the guests and friends and Loyola College for facilitating this event. As we approach the end of this year, we come to my father, Dr.Verghese Kurien's centenary on 26th of November. And so we look back at his ceaseless efforts to help the rural people and thereby the nation. When my father started his working life soon after India gained her independence, the noblest task in those days was to contribute to whatever way you could towards building India of our dreams, a nation where our people would not only hold their heads high in freedom, but would be free from hunger and poverty, a nation where people would live with equal respect and love one another, a nation which would eventually be counted among the foremost nations in the world. It was then that he realized that choosing to lead one kind of life means putting aside the desire to pursue other options. He never intended to serve the nation's farmers, but a series of events put him at Anand, and he chose to work for a small cooperative instead of pursuing a career in metallurgy or nuclear physics. For 63 years, he lived, worked, and died in Anand, a content and happy man. My father understood the plight of the farmers as far back as 1949. He witnessed the hard-working farmer being exploited by unscrupulous milk merchants. They had to depend on forces of nature, weather, soil conditions, seasonal and erratic production, and the lack of a reliable market. He joined the Kera Cooperative Milk Producers Union in 1950 and began his work to change the lives of the farmers there. He soon learned that if he was able to organize the farmers to produce, collect, process, and market milk, eliminating the middleman, he could establish a profitable business as he could sell the products at a very competitive rate. And so began the growth of Amul, which started with a meager collection of 250 liters a day. At that time, there existed Nestle's, Cadbury, Glaxo, Polson's, etc. But today, Amul is synonymous with milk and is Asia's largest brand selling milk and milk products, and it's solely owned by farmers. My father believed in empowering the farmer, and he never doubted their ability to work hard and produce more and more if there was a market. 74% of our population lived below the poverty line, out of which 70 reside in the rural areas where infrastructure is poor. They depend on agriculture as their main source of livelihood. For the small, marginal, and landless farmer, as we know, dairying is not only a source of nutrition, but also a source of supplementary income and security. Much of the work involved in milk production, be it feeding, day-to-day management, healthcare, and such other non-financial activities were traditionally handled by women, who comprised of half the population. As more women became stable and joint breadwinners of a family, they also emerged in leadership roles at the local level. This had far-reaching impact on the democratic commitment to the noble cause of empowering women. Last year, as the world was reeling under the impact of COVID-19 and the opportunities of travel and job avenues decreased, the income from such milk production activities became critical to many families, and so also the contribution of these women in sustaining their families. In COVID-19 world, the dairy industry gave such women entrepreneurs an opportunity to play an equal and important role in their families. It is an opportunity that the dairy industry can nurture to mutual benefit in the days ahead. My father believed that India will emerge as a world power one day, and its success would be measured through the yardstick of every family affording at least one square meal a day, education for its children, and clean drinking water. Our dairy industry, which has succeeded in securing the role of the largest milk producer, can play a crucial role in realizing his vision of a more equitable society, conducive for the development of our lesser privileged, and to make our nation a better place to live for all its citizens. Equity and equality was the cornerstone of his vision. My father said India's place in the sun would come from the partnership between the wisdom of its rural people and the skill of its professionals. He was an institution builder, and I believe he built about 18. But he was never in the business of building his own empire, but strengthened that of the farmers. And all the institutions he built were solely for this purpose. He said that the difference that separates success and failure lies in our capacity to convert a vision or a dream into reality. In the case of a nation, it is the effectiveness of implementation of its plans and programs, or the lack of it, that decides the destiny of its people. A dream needs to be followed by a mission, and to succeed in our mission, one should have conviction of purpose and perseverance to overcome all challenges. He said the most important that India needed to follow foreign trade in India to increase their foothold through cooperatives. He wanted old and antiquated laws to be changed to simulate production, thereby helping the farmers grow. In my father's last days, he never stopped telling us that it was his greatest honor to have been given the opportunity to work for the farmers of Gujarat and then of India. As an employee of the farmers, he said that he was privileged to have been trusted by them and given the responsibility to lead them to become the largest milk producer in the world. It humbled him. And so today, his vision goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presence and recalling memorable and inspiring moments in the life of your father. It is time to reflect and share memories of this legend who will always be remembered as the person who redefined the meaning of milk as a powerful tool for economic development. We are happy to have with us the Chairman, National Dairy Development Board, Shri Manish C. Shah, in our midst this evening via Zoom. Being a dairy technologist, he has multi-dimensional experience in the dairy sector for more than 33 years in areas such as research and development, product and process development, project appraisal and finance, and cooperative services, and has served the NDDB in various roles. We are honored to have you online today, sir, to share your thoughts on Dr. Kurien.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Ms. Nirmala Kurien, Dr. Rajoria, Dr. Sodi, Mr. Kanda Swami, Mr. Chandra Mohan, Sri Rahul Kumar, Sri C.P. Charles, all the dignitaries, teachers, and students of Loyola College and participants. It's my great pleasure to join all of you on this occasion of launch of video documentary on our founder chairman, Dr. Verghese Kurien, by his daughter, Madam Nirmala. I believe that the power of life and times of great personalities lies in the stories they leave behind. Therefore, this launch of video documentary on Dr. Kurien by the IDA South Zone is a welcome step, and it will certainly inspire coming generations of our countrymen regarding the character and faith with which Dr. Kurien built each of his institutions, which culminated in transforming Indian dairying landscape from scarcity to plenty. Much has been written and said about the phenomenal contributions made by Dr. Kurien in development of Indian dairy industry. But for a person like me who was born, brought up and studied in a college near NDTV in the then small town of Anand, he has always been a towering personality who created so many institutions, many of them originating from Anand, and it was he who brought Anand on the world map. Therefore, any attempt by me to encapsulate his persona in a few words would never be complete. While his personality had so many dimensions, I would just like to highlight a few aspects. He rightly visualized that it is the processing, pricing, and marketing aspects of any agriculture commodity which need emphasis rather than its production itself. I think Madam Nirmala also highlighted this point in her address. If we get these aspects of milk, that is processing, pricing, and marketing right, and make dairying profitable, then the dairy farmers or the owners, they will automatically care for the animal breeding, nutrition, and milk production will follow. This was a simple mantra which we learned from him. Being closely involved in NDDB's dairying interventions in less dairy developed states like Jharkhand and Assam, modeled on the path which was shown by him, we have humbly realized that he was so right and much ahead of his times. As a leader, he responded effectively in very, very complex situations. He demonstrated on many occasions as a leader, bringing uncontrollable external dimensions into controllable domain, which was a very good umbrella for us. Today, as the entire country debates about ways and means to enhance farmers' prosperity, I think the Arnold model of dairy development perhaps remains the only shining example from which the lessons can be drawn for achieving the same. It is he who taught us that designing of systems and institutions, which enable people to develop themselves is very, very important, because true development of men can best be achieved by putting in his hands the instruments of development. He believed that the greatest assets of this country are its people, and he had dedicated his life to the task of harnessing the power of the people in a manner which promotes their larger interest. His professional life has been dedicated to empowering millions of humble Indian milk producers in whom he saw an unsuspected economic resource and potential at the bottom of the pyramid. Without their involvement, we cannot succeed. I think those were the words. And with their involvement, we cannot fail. This reminded his simple but fail-safe inspiration for every one of us at NDDB. Dr. Kurien was a visionary with an ability to be ahead of his times. He can be considered as among the greatest institutional builders of our times. In all the institutes which he has created, he fostered a spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship. When I joined NDDB as a very young officer directly from the college after a graduation, and I can vouch for the fact that he had tremendous faith in young officers and would invariably give them assignments in leadership positions. He was always open to ideas and promoted and supported success as well as failures. Since my career began in research and development, we always used to, promote the failures or celebrate the failures. And it was he who told us to celebrate failures. So one thing which I have personally admired was his utmost faith in the wisdom of farmers and their ability to judge what is best for them. It is this trait that helped him create a network of self-sustaining cooperative institutions, close to 200 cooperatives NDDB was instrument in forming. This was the major focus which we learned from him. And due to his great leadership, that institutions like NDDB, Amul, IRMA, they continue to flourish and work towards betterment of the lives of farmers. Dr. Kurien rightly said that true development is not simply doing more the same. True development consists in building institutional capacity to respond new and diverse challenges, to adapt, to innovate, and to create newer forms of institutions. Another aspect about his personality which inspires me and guides me in his penchant for perfection and excellence. In whatever he did and created, I think you cannot find anything where he slightly interfere with the perfection or excellence. For example, the magnificent campuses of his institutions which were built in those days. Each campus has continued his legacy of orderliness, cleanliness, timeliness, and discipline. At NDDB campus in Anand, we receive thousands of farmers for capacity building programs and training. And my officers tells me, and I also vouch, that every farmer who visits our campus learns something about orderliness, cleanliness, timeliness, or discipline just by spending few days in our campus. This makes our job of inculcating values of institutional development in him much, much easier. So finally, I would like to say that in these 2 days' time, when the country is fighting COVID pandemic, our dairy institutions have shown that required resilience to sustain their operations in spite of the initial hiccups. It almost seems to be an apt tribute to Dr. Kurien in the year of his birth centenary celebrations. I would close my talk with a quote which I find quite relevant to the current times. In every crisis, if you look carefully, you will spot an opportunity. My insistence is on finding and seizing that opportunity. I never try to sidestep a crisis. Rather, the more monstrous the crisis, the more I am tempted to rush at it, grasp it by the thorns, and maneuver it until it gives me what I want. I thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me and sharing my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts, insights, and admiration for Dr. Verghese Kurien. Utterly butterly delicious. Yes, Amul is precious. As its name implies, making India the largest milk producing nation in the world and bringing financial freedom to many milk farmers. A memorable moment for everyone associated with the dairy sector across India when the International Dairy Federation unanimously elected Dr. R.S. Sodhi as the Managing Director of the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, popularly known as Amul, the largest dairy cooperative in the country. We also applaud his vision in promoting sustainable goals of dairying to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We are happy to have you with us, sir, via Zoom and invite you to felicitate the gathering.
Thank you very much. Honorable Ms. Nirmala Kurien ji, President IDA Dr. G.S. Rajoria ji, and also the Mr. Charles, Chairman IDA South Zone, Shri Minesh Shah ji, Chairman NDDB, Shri R. Kanda Swami ji, Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Milk Marketing Federation, and Shri Chandra Mohan ji, the Chairman cum Managing Director of Hudson Agro, and my old friend Shri Rahul Kumar, MD Lactalis, all the members of IDA South, as well as from Loyola College. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the IDA South for creating such a wonderful video on Dr. Kurien. It's a very, very well informing, a very well done job. So it's a good thing. Well, I don't think I should tell or narrate what are the achievements of Dr. Verghese Kurien, how he has impacted the lives of millions and millions of Indian, especially the rural women. What is his contribution in the nation building? And we know there are no parallel after independence in India who has impacted the lives of so many people. And we all know, because I see the faces, I see the names who are in this dairy industry since decades. And already Dr. Rajoria, Shri Minesha and Nirmala ji have given you what Dr. Kurien, what his values, what he has done to the nation. So I don't want to repeat those things. But no doubt, Dr. Kurien has influenced the life of not only individuals, but millions, and definitely an individual like me. Well, I tell you, the first I heard the name of Dr. Verghese Kurien when I was in my agriculture engineering at Udaipur, and when I was passing out. And that time, IRMA advertised, and nobody knew what is IRMA that time. IRMA brand was not there. But when we saw the name behind IRMA of Dr. Verghese Kurien, and Dr. Verghese Kurien was at the top of the world during those years because of the success of Operation Flood already happened in a few parts of India. And I was very motivated to join IRMA because of Dr. Verghese Kurien. And after that my life changed. We had the opportunity to interact, listen to Dr. Verghese number of times, right from the day when Dr. Verghese and Mrs. Kurien welcomed us in the NDDB launch, and also when our introduction. So number of interactions. We were lucky, I think. I don't know how many students after that had that type of opportunity to interact directly with Dr. Verghese Kurien and Tribhuvan Das Patel. I remember in all our get-together, all our both used to come and Mrs. Kurien used to be there. I was lucky that when I passed out of Emma, I could join institutions which was headed by Dr. Verghese Kurien, GCMMF. And that time also, let me tell you, Amul or Milk Federation was not a big operation. And nobody have thought that Amul, what today is India's biggest food and FMCG company, nobody have thought it will become such a big. I remember in 1982, the Amul turnover was 121 crore. And we were collecting only 12 lakh liters of milk. And today, if you see, Amul brand is more than 53,000 crore and we are getting 280 lakh liters. I mean, at that time, he would have said this thing not possible. That is what Dr. Verghese Kurien achievement or a contribution to the Indian rural milk producers. And definitely, my experiences with Dr. Verghese Kurien have been many, many. I remember one when we launched Dhara, I was posted at Ahmedabad as a branch manager. And I know every Monday morning, Dr. Verghese Kurien used to call me. I was very junior in the hierarchy. There was a zonal manager and number of people head office, but he used to call me to know, Mr. Sodhi, how's Dhara doing in the market? What are the problems? Because he wanted to hear not only from the young officer like Shri Minesh Shah mentioned, but also wanted to understand and know the ground realities because we were in the market. So those were the experience. Then in 1993, when I shifted to head office Anand as a group product manager, and I had opportunity to see Dr. Kurien in number of meetings in the Shastri boardroom, learn from him how to have a detailed going through the note which we used to send in the first day for any meeting, giving the brief, and then his listening power, then asking the right person the right question, a corner of a table, the youngest, the most junior officer, what do you feel about this ad campaign? Because he knew he would have asked the senior person first and the junior person later on, the young fellow would have followed the same opinion what his boss would have told. I mean, so many anecdotes, so many witty things, so many jokes which he used to crack. I mean, each meeting used to be learning for a young officer like us. He has also, I think, told the whole, not only the rural entrepreneurs, but also the whole world, especially the small producer organizations, the importance of the professionals. What professional can contribute, especially to the rural organization, how much freedom, respect, motivation, protection, policymakers and leadership has to give to the professionals. And that is what Dr. V could see. And that is why he could build number of dozens of institutions which are the best in whatever field they are today. And they are respected well because they are Dr. Verghese Kurien institutions. Wherever we go as a federation, as an Amul, I mean, any leader, anything, they are very eager to meet us and always give us the first preference, not because of anything else, that we are the biggest FMCG company. They give us the first appointment is because we are not only from Amul, because they respect Dr. Verghese Kurien and they know that we have come from institutions which has been founded by Dr. Verghese. That is the respect for a person today. I mean, everybody, all policymakers, all bureaucrats, and I've seen in all political leadership sitting wherever I've been to in various states or various sectors. And I think day by day, as we are passing, the Dr. Kurien way of managing rural institution, the way of managing rural economy, the way of managing any business is being appreciated and being adopted everywhere. And especially today, when disparity between the rural and the urban family is increasing day by day, I mean, it used to be 1:1 when India got independent. Now it is 5:1. Rural producer is not earning as the way the urban family is earning. So we know that is why the farmers are unhappy. We know what type of agitation is going on. And the biggest credit for this goes to the government of India, where they've recognized the importance of cooperative way of doing rural producer business, and where the separate cooperative ministry has been formed. And I think people think that cooperative means agriculture cooperatives or the credit cooperatives or the housing cooperatives, or maybe now we know the success of the milk cooperatives. But I think if we see the way Dr. Verghese Kurien run the cooperatives way of doing business is very, very relevant in today's world, where small producers, small service providers, small entrepreneurs, small artisans are there, where they can aggregate their services, their produce, or their assets, and use the best of the professional to reach to the millions of consumers. And not only for agriculture produce, cooperative is the best model for even for urban small. I mean, if you take example of a small restaurants, like in Anand, there are 200 restaurants who are on Zomato or Swiggy. If they form a cooperative and provide service to the through app and through professionals, I mean, they can form a cooperative. Taxi wallahs, maid servants, hotel fellow, sweepers, security people, everybody who is small has got a very, very good way of doing business, Dr. Verghese Kurien. And his way of starting a startup, today's startup is saying, a startup of cooperative. His idea of starting cooperatives by deputing spirit teams who will see the professionalism in the farmers institution, and then building and then handing over to the farmers to the best model. And that is the reason for the success of Operation Flood. That is, I think, spirit team, because I had the opportunity to work in the spirit team. And I think his emphasis that cooperatives there to succeed, they not only need very favorable policy framework, but also the very selfless, dedicated leadership, technology, and professional. And I think that is what is being learned by the various cooperatives and being replicated. And today, when the age of any organization is becoming small, and I think we have to make any organization from small to big and ageless, which can survive not only decades but centuries. I think that his way of principle of doing business, which Amul has followed right from last 75 years, is give more to earn more. Give more to the suppliers or the producer. Give more to the consumer by giving the best product, using best technology at affordable price wherever they want it. Once you give more to all the stakeholders of the supply chain, mainly the suppliers and the consumer, and once they are happy, your business will not only succeed, it will grow. And I think that is what everybody, any entrepreneur, any rural organization, any institutions, any management school has to learn, that India, the best model to have reduced disparity and for the distribution of wealth, and where every India can grow and where Bharat can match the growth of India, is Dr. Verghese Kurien way of doing business. So with these words, I'd like to say that we people who are joined today, they have to see how we can disseminate the knowledge, the values, the systems to the maximum people, so that day by day, Dr. Verghese Kurien way of doing business is admired and learned everywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your memorable and unforgettable times with Dr. Kurien on this occasion. Mr. R.G. Chandramohan, the Chairman and Managing Director of Hatsun Agro Product Limited, is a testimony to striking the right chord at the right time. A dairyman and entrepreneur from Tamil Nadu and owner of the largest private dairy company based in Chennai, has been committed to providing customers with a wide range of quality dairy products and is accomplished in making Hatsun Agro products like Arokya, Arun, Ibaku popular household names in dairy products across our country. We are delighted to have Sir online to share his thoughts on Dr. Verghese Kurien.
Morning only. Okay. There. Okay. Respected Mr. Rajoria, President IDA, New Delhi, Mrs. Nirmala Kurien, Mr. Minesha, Chairman NDDB, Mr. Sodhi, MD GCMM of, and Mr. Rahul Kumar, MD Lactalis India. It's a great privilege to be in the function today. And I was so excited to see the video. And somehow Gujarat and Tamil Nadu has a lot of association. Dr. Kurien is a student of Gindi Engineering College, Chennai, and he did his mechanical engineering. And also the bylaws for forming Gujarat Cooperative were taken from Chengalpet Cooperative Milk Union in Ayanavaram. So basically, he started these activities here, and I have seen him as a person of integrity, and is a common man in airports and all that. He will just have a half slack and move around with people with simplicity, absolute simplicity. And he has been the most intelligent innovator with integrity of operating with the farmers directly and marginal farmers that too. And this is a model developed by him in the entire world as a unique thing. And he was able to build the brand Amul from scratch, and he was able to just build it beyond any reasonable levels at the time of his working. The infrastructure was weak and all that, but he was able to just command a lot of respect with the policy makers to get things done. And today, Amul stands as a testimony to the pioneer's vision. And I should thank the IDA for taking all the efforts to do a film on him. And I congratulate all the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for joining us and enlightening us with your words. Mr. Rahul Kumar, Managing Director, Lactalis India, has made significant strides in the nation's dairy industry for the past 27 years. From being a chemical engineer, he has built a career in the dairy industry, which includes 22 years in the Indian cooperative dairy company Amul and 6 years in the world's largest dairy group Lactalis. Mr. Rahul Kumar has had several interactions with Dr. Verghese Kurien when he was the managing director of Kaira District Cooperative Milk Producers Union, Anand, and we welcome you, sir, to share your experiences with Dr. Kurien.
Good evening, everybody. Dr. Rajoria, IDA President, sitting at Delhi. Dr. Minesh Shah, Chairman at NDDB. Dr. R.S. Sodi, MD GCMF. Madam Kurien, Charles, and Ram, and IDA South Zone functionaries. I welcome all of you. I must admit that, first of all, I'm very happy to see this video documentary which is just launched. I'm also very happy to see that this function is organized in Loyola College. And it is a very nice thought that somebody had thought to have this venue as a Loyola College where Dr. Kurien studied in 1940. So thank you, Mr. Charles, for selecting this as a venue. It's very emotional, I would say, for all of us, Loyola College and everybody. As said by everybody, after independence, nobody in India has impacted the way Dr. Kurien has impacted the millions of lives. And it's phenomenal. It's not an easy task. And it's not only, making life of the rural people, it's a very marginalized society where he has made the very big impact with all the adversaries. He was not from Gujarat, he was not speaking Hindi or Gujarati, he was not a dairy technologist or has worked in rural areas, but still, the kind of vision he had, I think is phenomenal. It's a great source of learning. His entire life is a great source of learning. And as Madam was saying that he has built 18 institutions. You tell me anybody in India who has really established such a importance, national importance institution, whether it's NDDB or IRMA or IDMC or Amul, so many. Each and every institution itself is a learning, source of learning. And I would say that the way we are talking about today, the farmers' distress, and after green revolution, we are saying that still farmers are not, not happy. I'm not saying that everybody is not happy, but there is some distress. Why we don't have that kind of situation when it comes to milk? That's because of the model what he has created, Dr. Kurien, he has created, is phenomenal. It's unique, it's iconic. Nobody can even, I am still saying that people have not even understood what Dr. Kurien has done 60, 70 years back. The kind of wisdom, the kind of vision he has put into this model is very difficult to understand even. That how a small farmer can become an owner of an iconic brand Amul. It's not easy to explain. We are talking about the corporates. You talk Nestle, you talk Unilever, you talk Coca-Cola. Can anybody say that this iconic brand is owned by the farmers? It's very difficult to even understand. But that's the model he has given. And I'm quite sure it's not that it's only for cooperative. Anybody in India or in developing countries, if they really want to develop any business in dairy or in agriculture, this is the only model. I'm saying because I have worked 22 years in Amul, and after that I'm working with the largest dairy company in the world. But I know that if you really want to be successful in India, it has to be the same model. Same model means same thinking. The soul of the model has to be in your business working. That's my point. Farmers have to be at the core. I cannot say that my brand will be owned by the farmers, but the overall vision of that 75% or 80% of the total business what I am generating, that will go to the farmer. In private sector, the brand can't be owned by the farmers, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we have to give that much relation back to the farmers so that they are part of you. And it's very, very important. Coming to the, I'm full of lot of memories, about Dr. Kurien. I interacted with him when I joined IRMA in 1990. And frankly speaking, I was not very much aware about Dr. Kurien because I was doing engineering, and suddenly within 1 month I came to IRMA. And then when I entered IRMA, then I came to, I was surprised that who has built this world-class campus. At that time, the world-class means I was not even aware that what kind of, institution he has built. But I was surprised to see that if anybody goes to IRMA, I am still, as on today, it's one of the best campuses of India. I'm talking about 1992, 30 years back. And then the interaction became, because I was studying there, he used to come to, interact with the students and all this thing. And it lasted till 9th September 2012. So it was such a long association, and I would say that my entire career was under aura of Dr. Kurien when I spent 22 years with Amul. So I was with the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation for 11 years. After that, I became MD of Amul Dairy, which Kera Union in 2003 at the age of 33. So as Dr. Minesh Shah was saying that he has this tremendous faith in the young professional. He approved the my MD position when I was only 33 when I took over the charge of Amul Dairy. That kind of faith he was having, and really this is a great vision what I could see. When I joined Amul Dairy as MD, I would say that my entire learning was whenever I used to go to the plant, or whenever I used to go to the any of the plants. It was cattle feed, it was chocolate plant, it was a breeding center, it was any plant, or I have visited more than 600 villages to see the village cooperative society. That each and every visit to the plant was learning to me. I used to think that what Dr. Kurien would have thought when he was building this plant or building this section, and it was really world class. And it used to give me motivation that when there was no mobile, there was no telephones, and there was very, very poor communication, still he used to do this world class job in Amul Dairy, and just to understand how he used to work, I took a very, very funny step. I started reading all the resolution books about Amul Dairy. There's a board meeting every month. Okay, and I started reading resolution, and resolutions are written by hand in the resolution book. I started reading resolution books since 1950, but till 2003 when I joined. 53 years of resolution book I just read, one by one. Maybe it must have taken 3-4 months just to understand how Dr. Kurien used to think when he was conducting the board meeting, what kind of decisions he was taking. And I'm telling you, it was extraordinary. Somebody should do research on that how he was thinking. And not only for Amul Dairy, he was talking about some people are doing Mehsana Union, somebody is doing Sabal Dairy, somebody is doing Baroda Dairy, and they're talking about very big picture I'm talking about. So really, the kind of vision he was having, I think it's a learning for everybody. I'm still telling you that we still have not studied well the work Dr. Kurien has really done. It has to be researched. It has to be shared with all the people who are really want to improve the condition of rural economy or the kind of work he has done. Integrated. We are talking about semen station, and then you're talking about retailing at the front end in the National Institute of Design Amul Parlor. You can see that the kind of integrated model. Then you have Indian Dairy Machinery Company, and then you have to give the good managers. You have IRMA, you have Indian Immunologicals, you have so many institutions, and it's really very great opportunity to have working under his aura, the kind of aura. And I used to meet him when I was in Anand from 2003, and every time he was very down to earth, very very simple fellow. He used to come to Amul Dairy just to see his own old house and all this thing. So I still remember he was quite associated, quite touched with the, his dairy. I still believe that the real, I would say, tribute, would be that we should really understand what exactly he was thinking when he was establishing any institution, and what was his thought process, what was his intention, and perhaps that would be very great learning for all of us. I'm quite happy that I had opportunity. It was my luck that I worked in Amul, and he has really shown millions, the way it has to be worked for other sector. I'm quite confident. We are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat in terms of edible oil. We are talking about pulses. It will not be possible until unless you have this exactly same model in spirit. In spirit, what spirit he was having, that the institution has to be owned by the farmers. Production, processing, marketing has to be owned by the farmer. That was the spirit. And if we really want to make successful, to become independent or self-sufficient in terms of oil, in terms of pulses or any other agriculture commodity what we want to have, we have to follow Amul model in spirit. And perhaps that's the biggest gift what Dr. Kurien has given to all of us. He has shown the path. Okay, this is the path. When an institution can be built up from 216 liter to 216 lakh liter per day, 1 lakh times from 216 liter. The Amul was started with 216 liter, and today Amul is collecting 216 lakhs. So that's the kind of path he has shown. So once again, I am very thankful for IDA South Zone to call me, invite me on this function of video documentary release, and I am very happy to be part of it. And I wish that message of Dr. Kurien on this centenary year should go all across world. I've gone to Harvard for explaining Amul model, and I can understand Dr. Ray Goldberg, who is really fond of Dr. Kurien because of Amul model, and a lot of faculties in Harvard School. They really appreciate. They really appreciate, and they know that this is the only model which can work on the if you really want to have upliftment of the rural economy, rural people, marginalized people, and that's what the way forward is, which Dr. Kurien has shown us. So thank you very much, and I convey my best regards to IDA South Zone for conducting this, and thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion and sharing your personal experiences with Dr. V. Kurien. An hour, an evening, or even a day may not be sufficient to capture the life and contributions of Dr. V. Kurien, but just a second is enough to get inspired by this visionary leader who said, "If you're always honest to yourself, it does not take much effort in always being honest with others." Yes, the sparkling whiteness of milk, symbolizing his integrity and honesty, will continue to speak volumes of Dr. Verghese Kurien, a man of wisdom who showed that one man can make a change in a nation, and he did. Mr. S. Ramamurthy is a young entrepreneur in Tamil Nadu involved in the manufacture of cattle feeds. He is the chairman of the Tamil Nadu chapter, Indian Dairy Association, and also an alumnus of our institution, Loyola College. He is the man behind this event, taking all the initiatives for the smooth conduct of this occasion of the video documentary release along with his team. I invite Mr. S. Ramamurthy to now propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and to everyone who is present here. Thank you is the best reciprocation that everyone could say. I like to say that one a lot today. For everyone who made this grand event of IDA Tamilnadu and South Zone a nostalgic event. On behalf of IDA Tamilnadu chapter, I thank our President Dr. G.S. Rajoria, who presided this function. Our sincere gratitude to Ms. Nirmala Kurien, who launched the video documentary of Dr. Verghese Kurien today. Also, my thanks to Madam for her guidance and inputs for making and approving the video. Thank you, ma'am. We thank Shri Minesh Shah, Chairman, NDDB, and Dr. R.S. Sodhi, Managing Director, GCMMF Amul, and R.G. Chandramohan, Sir, Chairman of Hudson Agro Products, who gave their felicitation address today virtually and made us to remember the legend Dr. Verghese Kurien in their address. We thank and express our gratitude to Shri Rahul Kumar, Managing Director of Lactalis India, for being with us to deliver the felicitation address in spite of their busy schedule. Your presence really motivated, sir. Thank you for being with us today. Our special thanks to our today's program host, PG, Food Chemistry and Food Processing, Department of Chemistry of Loyola College. Also, we would like to thank the Rector, Reverend Father Dr. Francis P. Xavier, Secretary, Reverend Dr. Silvanayakam, sir, for all the infrastructural arrangements. We thank Father Principal Dr. A. Thomas Amirdam and Vice and Deputy Principal Dr. Gabriel, sir, Head of Department of Chemistry Dr. D. Suresh Kumar, sir, and Coordinator Ms. P. Rajalakshmi, and department faculties. We thank all of you for their support to conduct this function where Dr. Verghese Kurien did his undergraduation. And also, I thank today's Master of Ceremony, Ms. Jaimani Divya Christudas, for comparing this event. We also thank and appreciate the video creative work by Mr. Praveen, Creative Head of Color Extract, who is also a alumnus of our Loyola College, and our appreciation to his team also. Our heartfelt thanks to our IDA South Zone Chairman, Mr. C.P. Charles, sir, who guided and supported our IDA Tamil Nadu team for making this event in a grand manner. At this time, we thank Team Dow Events, the event organizers for this function, who organized and well orchestrated this event. I thank all the faculty members, students, Loyola Alumni Association, and non-teaching staffs of Loyola College for their support in organizing this function from this morning. I thank all our Central Executive Committee members, Zonal Executive Committee members, and our Tamil Nadu Committee members for supporting, guiding, and organizing this grand event. We thank all who participated in this event virtually as well as physically for witnessing our video launching function. Once again, I thank you all for participating in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. IDA Tamil Nadu chapter invites you all to join for high tea after the national anthem. May I request you all to kindly stand for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा चञ्चल जलधितरङ्गा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you and wish you all a pleasant evening.